dreamy small Parisian apartments that feel straight out of a movie. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Today, we're stepping into a world where small Parisian apartments feel as if they've been lifted straight from the silver screen. These are homes where light drifts softly through tall windows, where every corner tells a quiet story, and where beauty is found in simplicity rather than size. As you watch, imagine yourself walking through these intimate spaces. Step into a living room that feels as if the opening scene of a French film is about to begin. In this tiny Parisian apartment, every detail is carefully curated yet effortlessly relaxed. Soft linen sofas sit beneath tall windows dressed in flowing curtains, allowing natural light to dance across antique wood floors. A vintage mirror reflects both light and history, making the space feel larger and more poetic. Books are stacked casually, artwork leans rather than hangs, and nothing feels rushed or overly styled. Parisian entryway feels like the moment a character pauses before stepping into their story. In a tiny apartment, the entrance sets the tone with understated charm. A narrow console table holds a ceramic bowl for keys, a small lamp glows softly, and a framed sketch hints at the artistic soul within. The walls are painted in warm neutrals, making the space feel welcoming rather than tight. Hooks hold a trench coat and scarf, casually elegant and ready for a stroll through cobblestone streets. This kitchen feels straight out of a romantic montage, where morning light spills gently across marble countertops. In a tiny Parisian apartment, the kitchen is both practical and poetic. Open shelves display everyday dishes like treasured props, while brass hardware adds a touch of old-world charm. A small cafe table invites slow breakfasts with coffee and croissants. Nothing is hidden behind perfection. Instead, beauty comes from use and familiarity. The gentle clink of cups, the hum of city life outside, and the warmth of natural textures make this kitchen feel alive. It's a reminder that even the smallest kitchens can feel cinematic when designed with soul. quietly into the heart of the apartment, this dining nook feels like a scene meant for whispered conversations. In a tiny Parisian apartment, space is limited, but intimacy is abundant. A round table encourages closeness, surrounded by mismatched vintage chairs that add character. A soft pendant light hangs low, creating a warm glow perfect for evening meals. Fresh flowers or a simple candle serve as the centerpiece, never overpowering the simplicity of the setting. This bedroom feels like the quietest, most emotional scene in a film. In a tiny Parisian apartment, the bedroom becomes a retreat layered in softness. Crisp white linens are paired with textured throws, while a vintage headboard adds timeless elegance. Bedside tables are small but meaningful, holding books, candles, and memories. The color palette remains calm and neutral, allowing rest to take center stage. Light filters in gently, creating a dreamy atmosphere perfect for slow mornings. This bedroom proves that luxury doesn't require space, only thoughtfulness. It's a place where stillness, romance, and comfort coexist beautifully. This bathroom feels like a quiet pause between scenes. In a tiny Parisian apartment, the bathroom is compact yet refined. Classic tiles line the walls, while a pedestal sink keeps the space feeling open and elegant. Brass fixtures catch the light softly, adding warmth to the clean palette. A small mirror reflects more than just the room, it reflects simplicity and calm. Plush towels and subtle scents elevate everyday routines into rituals. This home office feels like a writer's corner in a French film. In a tiny apartment, a simple desk placed near a window transforms into a creative escape. Natural light illuminates handwritten notes, stacked books, and a vintage lamp that adds warmth. The chair is comfortable but elegant, encouraging long hours of quiet focus. Nothing feels cluttered, yet everything feels personal. This reading nook feels like a still frame from a romantic movie. In a tiny Parisian apartment, a single armchair by the window becomes a world of its own. Soft cushions, a warm throw, and a small side table create a perfect place to escape. Books are stacked casually, waiting to be opened slowly. The light shifts throughout the day, adding to the quiet magic of the space. This corner isn't designed to impress, it's designed to comfort. It captures the essence of Parisian living, slow, thoughtful, and beautifully intimate. Even the hallway feels cinematic in this Parisian home. In a tiny apartment, corridors are treated as moments rather than transitions. Framed art lines the walls, telling subtle stories as you walk through. A narrow runner rug softens footsteps, while warm lighting keeps the space inviting. Nothing feels wasted or overlooked. This hallway connects rooms not just physically, but emotionally. It shows how every inch of a home can contribute to its narrative, creating a seamless flow that feels intentional, elegant, and full of character. This closet feels like a behind-the-scenes moment in a fashion film. In a tiny Parisian apartment, clothing is displayed thoughtfully rather than hidden away. Neutral garments hang neatly, while accessories are stored in beautiful boxes. A small mirror and soft lighting turn daily dressing into a ritual. The space feels calm, organized, and deeply personal. This closet proves that even storage can feel cinematic when approached with care. It's not about excess, it's about choosing pieces that tell a story and reflect a timeless Parisian aesthetic. This guest space feels like a temporary home within a home. In a tiny Parisian apartment, flexibility is key. A sofa bed is styled with elegant textiles, making it feel intentional rather than improvised. Soft lighting and minimal decor create a welcoming atmosphere. Fresh linens and a small bedside table offer comfort without clutter. This area feels thoughtful and warm, as if designed for a beloved character arriving unexpectedly. It shows how hospitality can exist even in small spaces, turning limitations into opportunities for charm and creativity. This open layout feels like a continuous scene unfolding. In a tiny Parisian apartment, rooms blend seamlessly without losing identity. Furniture placement subtly defines each area, while a consistent color palette ties everything together. Light moves freely through the space, enhancing its sense of openness. Nothing feels forced or crowded. This studio layout proves that thoughtful design can create rhythm and balance, even in limited square footage. It's a perfect example of how Parisian apartments feel cinematic, through flow, restraint, and quiet confidence. Windows become emotional anchors in this Parisian home. In a tiny apartment, they frame light like a director frames a scene. Sheer curtains soften the view, allowing daylight to glow gently inside. A small chair or table nearby invites moments of reflection. This space isn't about the view, it's about how the light transforms the room. It adds mood, depth, and romance. These window moments make the apartment feel alive, changing throughout the day like scenes in a beautifully paced film. This breakfast spot feels like a morning montage. In a tiny Parisian apartment, a small table near the kitchen becomes a daily luxury. Simple tableware, fresh bread, and warm lights set the tone for unhurried mornings. The space feels calm, intimate, and full of promise. It's not about elaborate decor, it's about atmosphere. This ritual space captures the heart of Parisian living, savoring small moments and finding beauty in routine. Art in this apartment feels personal, not curated for perfection. In a tiny Parisian apartment, artwork is layered thoughtfully, leaning frames, small sketches, and meaningful pieces. Each one adds depth and storytelling. The walls feel lived in, like they've witnessed countless scenes. This approach makes the home feel authentic and cinematic, avoiding anything overly polished. Art here isn't decoration, it's memory, emotion, and character woven into the space. The color palette sets the emotional tone of this home. In a tiny Parisian apartment, soft neutrals, warm creams, and gentle grays create a timeless backdrop. Subtle contrasts add depth without overwhelming the space. This restrained palette allows textures and light to shine, making the apartment feel calm and cinematic. It's a reminder that color doesn't need to be bold to be powerful. It just needs to support the story being told. As evening falls, the apartment transforms. In a tiny Parisian apartment, lighting becomes the star. Table lamps, wall sconces, and candles replace overhead lights, creating intimacy. Shadows soften edges, and the space feels cocooning and romantic. This evening mood feels straight out of a film, where quiet conversations and reflective moments unfold. It shows how lighting alone can change the entire emotional landscape of a home. Texture plays a leading role here. In a tiny Parisian apartment, layered fabrics, aged wood, and stone surfaces add depth. Linen curtains, wool throws, and worn floors tell a story of time and comfort. These textures make the space feel warm and cinematic, even without bold design statements. It's proof that subtle details can create powerful atmosphere. This apartment feels authentic because it embraces imperfection. In a tiny Parisian apartment, items are chosen for meaning rather than trends. Books are worn, furniture shows age, and nothing feels overly staged. This lived-in quality makes the home feel cinematic, like a setting where real stories unfold. It's comfortable, honest, and quietly beautiful. This final space feels like the closing scene of a beloved movie. In a tiny Parisian apartment, everything comes together: light, texture, furniture, and mood. The home feels calm, personal, and deeply romantic. There's no excess, only intention. It reminds us that the most beautiful spaces aren't the largest, but the most thoughtfully lived in. This apartment doesn't just look cinematic. It feels like a story worth revisiting again and again.